It's something different. It's that voice inside of me. No more feeling empty. No more rushing. No more pretending to be someone else. No more searching. I have one life. I can live an amazing life. I can be free. What if less is more? Less stress, less debt, less of arguments, less of proving your worth, and more of time, more happiness, more peace, more money. That's what minimalism can offer you. Discover how minimalism can grow your business and life. Go to minimalistentrepreneur.com. Each week, a minimalist entrepreneur with your host, Zurika, aims to connect you with real successful people who share their success strategies that you can use in your business. So, here's Zurika.
Good morning, everybody. This is Zurika from A Minimalist Entrepreneur. I hope you are having the most amazing day, because today for me is a weekend and I am so excited because when I woke up, I was going to speak to a very dynamic entrepreneur who not only has built stuff by himself, but also enables other entrepreneurs and startups back in the United States. His name is Michael Harbron, and he is the director of Seo Haus. They are a very niche company, and he's going to be adding a lot of value. So what I would love us to do is, if we are starting our business, or if we have started our business, but we want to have online success, this is the guy we need to be listening to. So with that, I would like to invite Michael on the call.
Hello everyone, my name is, as mentioned, Michael Harbron. I'll give you a little kind of background about me and what I do and what I've done. I have actually a huge advertising background first and foremost. My past experiences in agency work and actually at the media houses themselves. I used to work with a large radio group in the UK called the Global Group, which at the time, and actually still is, one of the largest radio operators in the United Kingdom. And before I was with Seo Haus, I was working with the Spotify Group, the music company.
Wow.
Where I was, so part of their, actually with them at a very key time, part of their introduction and integration with Facebook, and when they launched in America as well. So it's a very kind of impressive time to be with the company. So more recently, and I say recently, over the past few years, developing my relationship with Seo Haus, we've gone on to grow this company, and in this time gone on to establish and grow other brands as well. A lot of the clients that we do deal with are startups. They literally come to us with an idea. So for us, we do get the opportunity to work with a lot of brands, building them literally from the ground up.
That's amazing, Michael. And even your background, it's like really cool, because a lot of us as entrepreneurs, I think we don't really know how to focus our marketing on the right things. So we go through different webinars and we don't understand what's the key initiatives that we need to take. And I guess, when you go to an advertising agency, you've got to have the big bucks to be able to actually move forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's really true, and there's so much choice out there. If you're looking at traditional media such as TV, radio, press, there is a lot of choice, and that does really demand a lot of a lot of investment. And I think that there is that element of you need to spend money to make the money.
Yes.
Starting any company, we do speak to a lot of people who literally don't have any investment at all, and it really is tough because it's almost impossible to make a dent, without some level of investment. But I think people do get distracted with not focusing on one key component that is going to make you a lot of money very quickly. They feel they have to throw out, kind of a very wide net. I think that is a popular mistake.
Yes. And so what I've asked Michael to do is, so that we can actually learn from him, is to be able to speak on a topic where it's about taking your business from ground zero to actually creating profit in your business. So what I'd love to do, Michael, so that the call is not interrupted with me talking, if you can actually speak on this topic, that will be really, really awesome.
Definitely. So I think what I'll do is I'll talk through a couple of case studies, really. One mainly for our own group and Seo Haus, and then onto one of a client that we did work with. It didn't exist. It came to us with the idea, and that client's called Fox and Jane, and it's a salon group based here in America. So our focus first and foremost is really to kind of narrow down how do you want to communicate to an audience that might be right for you. If you're going to, the options of going to something like radio or in the newspaper or press or TV, you're always going to be going to what's known as a reactive audience. So those types of traditional methods of media, you're always going to be going to somebody who's more reactive. So they don't really know that they need your service yet. You've got to do a level of convincing, which takes a lot of time, and it also costs a fortune.
Yeah.
So when a new kind of company is starting out, online is by far the best way to go. You're simply exposing yourself and your business and your service to what people are already searching for. So the return is a lot quicker, up to 8 times quicker in research that's been done. And you're cutting out the middleman a lot. So you have to obviously persuade, tell people that you're the right choice for them, but you're simply exposing yourself to what people have really already made up their minds that they might be thinking they might need. So when you're doing that, again, you come to online, and there's a number of different angles you can look at online. Do you go down the social route? Do you go down pay-per-click? Do you start an SEO campaign and just focus on organic? Again, the net can be very, very wide, and so ensuring that you have a very key focus in the beginning is absolutely key. Now, my advice for any new business starting up is that the first thing you think about is some kind of paid spend. And I'm not necessarily I wouldn't necessarily just say display, I wouldn't say kind of banner advertising, nor even social. Any kind of new business starting up, I would highly recommend that they literally focus on something like an AdWords campaign. The first real place that people are going to these days to get any research, you think of any part of your day as a consumer, what you're looking, when you're researching a product or when you want to buy something, the first place you're going to is Google, without a shadow of a doubt. Now, some people still go to Yahoo, some people still go to Bing, but 70% of the market is made up from Google, and so for us, it's a real clear winner. Now, we started working with Fox & Jane, the salon company. Now, this started off with one person's dream, really. A hairstylist dream who is very, very good at what she does, had a great dream, had people that she knew that she could bring on board that would be fantastic. So the product and the service was ready to go. But getting people to know about the brand was just difficult. The hair industry is massively, massively competitive. So how do you stand out? Well, in this instance, the salon was opening the first location was opening in a small district in Manhattan in the Lower East Side, and so it wasn't competing with anything. It was still in Manhattan, but it wasn't, in the middle of, say, Times Square or anything. It was in quite a smaller location, and so our goal in the beginning with that one was to really secure the brand as something that wasn't kind of the brand had to be, the other aspect is you have to make sure that your brand is on point. I think a lot of people probably want to do more research before deciding on what they call their company before they actually do it. You definitely don't want to be missing the mark with that one. But really with this, we immediately what was more important for us was to start getting a paid campaign out there, because paid campaign is going to get you exposure immediately.
Yeah.
You can switch on an AdWords campaign and you can be exposed tomorrow. Now, it'll take you a few days to really start fine-tuning that data. You might find in your AdWords campaign that certain keywords might not work for you, or negative keywords come up in the campaign and you need to eradicate them.
Yeah.
So it takes a few days to start defining that audience, and it certainly doesn't need to take a month or any longer. But you start getting business and traffic immediately. Now, so that is key. And from this one, the minute we switched, the minute we had everything ready, such as the website, the store was open, everything was good to go. The minute we turned the AdWords campaign on, calls were coming in. Traffic was coming through the door. Now, Is it what it is now? No, it's much more now, but there was a lot of A/B testing that went with that. And so, that follow through beyond that is really important. As people start clicking through to the website, when you're looking at things like conversion optimization, if I revert back to the Seo Haus website, and you'll have the link, you'll notice there's 3 real kind of unique indicators on that homepage. The first is who we are. So essentially we're Seo Haus and how long we've been around in the business. The second is why we're the best choice for you. So there's an explanation there as to who we are, but why we're better. And then finally, above the fold, you'll notice a contact form. So we give people the 3 most things that they are looking for when they're getting through to a site. The first is the fact that you've come to the right place, because this is who we are and this is what we do. The second is why we're better at it. So I'm going to give you an argument as to why you don't really need to go anywhere else, why you've come to the right place. The third thing is I don't want you having to run around my website too much to find a way to get in touch with me. My contact form is there. It's very easy. There's no captcha code. Press the submit button and you've literally found the place you want to be. You've got in touch in under a minute. And so there will be a lot of A/B testing that you'll need to go through to make sure that your conversions are what they need them to be. But this is all really under one focus. You're not worrying about your social, you're not worrying about your organic, you're not worrying about your print ads. You're not spending 30 grand a month on, say, a newspaper ad just hoping people pick up the phone. You've got one core focus that will immediately, and it's been tested time and time again, using something like Google AdWords will immediately drive that traffic through.
Yeah.
And so with the Fox and Jane story, it did take a second to get off the ground, but it was a startup. It got immediate business in, but the website to what it looks like right now didn't look like that in the beginning. And so there are at least 2 or 3 different designs that we went through before we found the absolute, the best model, the what works best for our consumers. And that is what you see today. Now, once you start building that, you get, right now, I would say that the Fox and Jane campaigns and even the SEO campaigns are so refined that once they're switched on, there's a certain level of, say, bid management you have to do to ensure you're above your competition, but we don't have to do that. There's a few other things, kind of trade secrets, so to speak, that we put into place, but that you do eventually get your campaign to a point where you've got all of the best things working for you. So the level of management you might put into it in the beginning starts to kind of, it's more of just making sure that everything is as it should be. And really kind of what you can start doing beyond that is then looking at different verticals. So for Fox and Jane, what we would concentrate on now that we didn't really concentrate on in the beginning because we couldn't, is things like email marketing. So then you can start looking on perhaps seasonal offers and giving your audience a deal and helping grow things that way. But when you're in startup mode, to really, really be successful and really, really have a focus, you don't try and spread yourself too thin. Don't try and succumb to, my website's brand new, so I want to do an organic campaign without doing AdWords. That's fine if you want to wait around 6 months for your traffic to start showing up, but your immediate core focus should be some level of paid search. If not all of it should be focused in those first few months.
Right. And Michael, would you say that it is better to actually go with paid search versus say Facebook marketing? I'm not saying that you have to differentiate between the two, but there's a lot of raving about Facebook ads. So how would you go about that? Especially for say consulting or coaches who probably, I guess sometimes people don't actually go searching for key information, what the service offering is, but how would you?
I think that's a very good, interesting point, because in some instances we we come across, for instance, coaches who might do seminars. It's very difficult to pinpoint how somebody might be searching on Google for, say, a seminar.
Yeah.
So with those types of industries, you do have to be a little bit intrusive, and Facebook can be fantastic for that. And really, in those scenarios, Facebook is a great brand building tool. Mm-hmm. It's a great awareness tool. Yeah. And so for, I'd say, the majority of industry, that's what we use it for. We use it to build likes. We might use it for, we're working with a local flower company and they use Facebook for last minute deals if they have any remaining stock. That works fantastic. And for seminars as well, pushing out to, a coaching type of thing, pushing out to that type of audience from an intrusive aspect is a great way to do it. There are certain things that you can still do in Google's network, such as display advertising, and it works effectively the same way. But Facebook is a good option for those trying to, kind of be a little more intrusive when Google might not be an option.
Yeah, okay, great. And how you spoke about like the first thing is to be able to have an ad campaign. And I think when you want to have focus, when you want to be able to remove all the noise from your life, yes, having a laser focused budget to be able to move in the direction that you want to, I think what you've said is absolutely correct. Because when I even first started with a minimalist entrepreneur, I thought it would be all, through word of mouth and it'll just go viral in my community. But if you actually look at how we started growing, when we first started with just like a few dollars just to be able to just check, what converts for us and so forth, we did go down and spend a little bit of money in advertising. And I think all those who are listening on this call, it's about saying, what do I really want? What is my end goal? Is it to be able to actually make an income stream, or do I want to test the theory of going down, being more social or paid advertising? So what you said was bang on. You've actually enabled us to open our mind and say, do we have a budget for marketing and how do we use that budget? And then one more question that I had for you is obviously if you're not in the industry of advertising, even though you might have a budget, you want to make sure that there is a return on investment when you're actually moving to find a service provider who would be able to enable you. What would be some of the checkpoints that we need to put in place? Because it's very easy to go to a place like Odesk and hire a freelancer. Are you hiring the right person for the brand or for your strategy? You know what I mean? So if you can just speak on that a little bit, that'll really help us.
Sure, in terms of finding the right person to work with you. Yeah. Well, I think it's the merit really goes down to, kind of the types of companies that, that they've worked with. Some people are, there are a lot of advertising agencies that do just focus in one specific niche. They might just focus in the dental industry. They might just focus in the attorney field. And that's, that's fine. I think it's just about outlining what's right for you. And when you get on the call with, your kind of respected agency that you want to be interviewing, I think there's definitely an element of something feeling right. That person that you're speaking to gets what you're trying to do. They understand, they're on the same page. But ultimately, you want to hire the agency that makes you money. Now, for instance, us, we turn companies into $1 million companies. That's what we do. And that ultimately should, your ambition and your goals should be to make, it's expansion, make as much money as you can. And so when you're looking at stuff like that, it's really important to, I think, look at some of the case studies that they have, perhaps speak to a couple of different references that can just attest to their work, and also look how long that company's been in business as well. For us, it's all of those key factors are there. So it's I think it's just ensuring that you eliminate every risk possible. And so, success stories, references, and I think just having that good feeling, somebody who is, when you speak to an owner of a company, you're going to get a very different conversation than if you're just speaking to perhaps a sales exec. So there's a few different things that I think you should look for, but the feeling should definitely be there.
Yeah, and I think, yes, if we listen to that inside voice of us when we are having that conversation, then everything else, can fall in place. Because if you don't have that trust level, if the whole time you're thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be charged X number of dollars, the focus is completely on a different note. So yeah, awesome. And what I would suggest for people who are listening on this call, don't be intimidated by thinking that, Michael works for an agency. They might have huge amounts of costs, because some of us are actually on the path of making businesses that are going to be $1 million businesses, and having that focus, having a strategy will enable you to get there faster, rather than take you a longer period of time. And there is no harm to be able to actually go and approach someone and actually sit down and actually come up with a budgeting plan or a marketing plan and say, how can I make this work? Asking the right question to our mind will enable us to move forward. So I would suggest to go to Michael's website. I mean, it's not his website, but obviously to the firm's website, which is Seo Haus, and I'll spell it. That's SEO, H for hotel, A for alpha, U for umbrella, S for Sierra.com. And like how they have the contact us straight onto that page, contact the company and one of them will get in touch with you. Would that be correct, Michael, or is there another way that they can contact you?
That would be great. They can either, you guys can either fill out the contact form or, personally shoot me an email, michael@seohaus.com. And, we'd look forward to speaking with you all.
Awesome. And thank you so much, Michael, for helping us out in the step-by-step approach that you have taken. I want to wish you all the very best as well from a personal front. And to everyone else who's been on this call, who always sends me an email or connects with me on LinkedIn, I want to thank you and I wish you and your family all the very best. And this is Michael and Zurika from A Minimalist Entrepreneur signing out.
If you want to live an amazing life and grow a business that serves you, then visit aminimalist.entrepreneur.com and sign up for laser-focused strategies discussed by well-renowned entrepreneurs. Be free. Own your life. You deserve it.